Hello, all. Welcome to today's topic. In continuation with yesterday's topic of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, let us continue to the various other highlights given in the stimulus package. The first one we are going to see about this agriculture and allied sectors. In this, the various segments are given as the financial package. The first one is concessional credit boost to the farmers. So here the financial institutions will be providing institutional credit to facilities to the farmer at the low rates and concessional rates with the help of this Kisan credit cards. And the scheme will have the coverage of 2.5 crore farmers with the access of concessional credit of worth 2 crore rupees. Next is the Agricultural Infrastructure Fund. So in this fund, 1 lakh crore rupees has been created for the development of agriculture project, infrastructure projects and at farm gates which will have been accessible for the cooperative societies and farmer producer organizations. The farm gate is what is farm gate is refers to the market where they can buy the products directly from the farmers. Next is the emergency working capital given for the farmers. So the additional capital of rupees 30,000 crores has been given as the emergency working capital requirement for the farmers. See, this will be disbursed through the NABARD to the rural cooperative banks and regional rural banks for meeting the loan requirements. And the fund is being able to benefit about 3 crore small and marginal farmers and will also support financial support of rupees 90,000 crores which will be given by the NABARD to the regional cooperative banks and the regional rural banks to meet the various crop loan demand. And the support to the fishermen is also being given under the Pradhana Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana has been launched, which will integrate and sustainable and inclusive development of the marine and inland fisheries. In the scheme, they have given 11,000 crores will be spent in the marine and inland fisheries and aquaculture and rupees 9,000 crores will be spent for the infrastructure development of the fisher harbors as well as the cold chain as well as the markets. Next is the animal husbandry infrastructure. In this fund, they are allocating rupees 15,000 crores will be set up to provide the private investment in the dairy processing and cattle feed infrastructure will also be developed. Various incentives will also be provided for establishing plants so as to export the dairy products. So next is the employment boosting towards using the CAMPHA funds, which is the Compensatory Afforestation Management and Planning Authority has given the government will approve rupees 6,000 crores under this CAMPA, which is providing a job creation for the tribals as well as Adivasis. And this fund will be utilized for various purposes. First is the afforestation and plantation in the urban areas, artificial regenerations, assistant natural regeneration, forest management, soil, which is conservation of the soil, development and wildlife protection. And these CAMPHA funds are also being utilized in order to maintain the protection of the forest and wildlife management. Next, various legislative amendments also being taken place. The amendments has been taken in the Essential Commodities Act. So this will have the Essential Commodity Act will have both the central and state government which will control on the production, supply and distribution of the commodities where to avoid the scarcity across the country. So these commodities will be covered under the edible oil seeds, pulses, sugarcane, and its various other subproducts and rice paddy. And this act has been amended which will deregulate the food items, which is including all the cereals, edible oils, oil seeds, pulses, onions, and potato. And this will have a price realization to the farmers and will attract the investments and enable more competition in the sector. The stock limit will have been imposed under exceptional circumstance, which is under the national calamities and famines, where there is a rise in price. So, no such stock limit will be applicable to processors or value chain participants subject to their capacity of installment by the exporter or subject to the export demand. So various other legislative highlights are also available in these agricultural marketing reforms. A central law has been formulated which will give you about the adequate choices to farmers to sell their produce at the remunerative prices, barrier-free interstate trade between the states, and various framework has been worked out for e-trading on the agricultural produce as the farmers are being selling their produce only in the licensed agricultural produce market committees. And this amendment will enable free flow of all the agricultural products and have promote smooth supply chain options which will have better price realization to the farmers. Agricultural produce pricing and quality assurance also being given as a legislative amendment. This legal amendment has been created which will enable farmers having the engaging the processors, aggregators, retailers and exporters having a transparent manner of working. This risk mitigation for the farmers, assured returns and quality standardization will be the main part of this framework. This will have the farmers to predict the price of the crops and what is the time of sowing and also increased various private sector investment in this sector. Next is the important one in this scenario where we have seen huge migrant laborers being moving to their residential place. And for the migrants also the stimulus package has been given an important highlight, policy highlights. The first is the One Nation One Card. So for this migrant laborers will be able to access the public distribution which is the ration shop from any fair or the any fair price shop by March 2021 where there is the scheme has been implemented One Nation One Card. This scheme has been introduced to have more of interstate portability which will be accessing about the ration for the migrant laborers. In August 2020, the scheme will be covering 67 crore beneficiaries almost in 23 states, which is almost 83% of the public distribution system population. All the states as will be completing its fully automated fair price shops by the end of March 2021, which will achieve 100% of its national portability. Then various other policies also being given. Free food grain supply to the migrants. So at this juncture, the migrants which are not the beneficiaries under the Food Security Act or the State Act now onwards will be provided 5 kg of grains per person and 1 kg of chana per family per month for 2 months, and rupees 3,500 crores will be spent for this scheme which will benefit 8 crore migrants. And then this next is affordable rental housing complexes to the for the migrant workers or the urban poor. The migrant laborers or the urban poor will be benefited in this Pratama Mantri Awas Yojana, which will have affordable rent, which will be achieved through converting all the government funded housings in the cities into this affordable renting housing complex through the triple P, which is the public private partnership. And this will also have incentivizing manufacturing units and industrial institutions which will develop all these affordable rental housing complexes on the private land and operate them. Next, coming to the important sector of civil aviation, which is the most hit sector in this scenario of the crisis. In this policy, they have given efficient airspace management. All the restrictions on utilization of the Indian airspace will be given an ease, and more flying for the civilians will be efficiently used. Then estimated to allow optimal utilization of the airspace, and which will reduce the fuel and also save rupees 1000 crore per year for the aviation sector. So next is the public-private partnership model for all the airports. So there will be a world-class airports built through this public-private partnership model. In the first round, they have given the Airport Authority of India has been awarded three airports, which is the Ahmedabad, Lucknow, and Mangalore, out of six for the operation and maintenance on this public-private partnership, and other six airports are also being identified for the second and third round of bidding process, which will have the private investment in these 12 airports, which is expected for rupees 13,000 crore. In the defense sector, which is utmost important, where there is an FDI foreign direct investment limit in the defense manufacturing under the automated route will be increased from 49 to 74%. There are various efforts being taken place in this defense sector on the Make in India initiative, which will be providing an independent protection of the weapons and other ammunition will be released, and which will be banned for import on the basis of yearly timeline. The government has also given various plans to improve the autonomy, accountability, efficiency in the ordnance supply by corporatization of ordnance factory good. Next is the energy or the power sector, also an important sector. So there has having the liquidity for distribution companies. So there will be a liquidity support of rupees 90,000 crore will be provided for this power companies, distribution companies. And this will have the power finance corporations and rural electrification corporations. So this distribution companies also will guarantee on the loans on discharging all the liabilities to the power generation companies. So next is the coal evacuation. Rupees 50,000 crores will be spent for the infrastructure development on evacuation of the coal, and 18,000 crore has been given as an investment in mechanized transfer of coal from mines to railway sidings. The various policy highlights for the power sector is also being given here. The first one is safeguarding the consumer rights. So inefficiency of this distribution companies will not be passed to the consumers, but the standard of service and the penalties shall be defined based on the power and avoiding load shedding. Various regulatory assets in the power sector will be eliminated, and regulatory asset will be the fund which will belong to the distribution companies which are due on the tariff hike, and this is not realized as the revenue, and this distribution companies will have to be allowed to recover the fund at later time from the state government or from the consumers to approved surcharge. The significant capital as of now will be form the regulatory assets across various states which cannot be used by the distribution companies of the respective states. Next is the privatization in the power distribution. So the power distributions in union territories also will be privatized. Then commercial coal mining. And in March 2020, the Mineral Laws Amendment has been passed, which will have the opening of the coal sector for commercial mining. Various auctions will also be conducted for the allocation of the coal mines. So any party can have the bidding for the coal block and sell in the open market. Various entry norms will be given liberally and almost 50 blocks will be offered immediately. Then the next is reduction in cross subsidy. So the Electricity Act 2003 has been amended, which will ensure progressive reduction in cross subsidies in the sector. The direct benefit transfer has been planned for providing the variable subsidies to the eligible consumers. So next, coming to the housing financial highlights. Housing giving the various financial highlights as credit linked subsidy scheme for the middle income group. So this scheme has been announced where the annual income is between rupees 6 lakhs and 18 lakhs will be extended by 1 year up to the March 2021, and this will have an investment of 70,000 crore to the housing sector. So next we have the support of the various policy highlights in the housing sector. In this situation of the pandemic situation, there is a support to the real estate sector which is being given as will be treated as an event of force majeure measure under the real estate regulatory authority and all the state and union territories and their regulatory authorities. An extension of 6 months has been given on the registration and completion of all the projects which are due and or are expiring after the March 25th, 2020 without individual applications, which can be extended further 3 more months at the discretion of the regulatory authorities. Where next is the partial bank guarantees can also be released by the government agencies in order to have ease of cash flow to the real estate sector. Next is the social sector. So the public health. So there is a vast investment in this public health and has been various increase in the investment at the grassroots health institutions of urban as well as rural areas. Various laboratories has been given networks to strengthen in all the district and block levels for the efficient management of the pandemic, and there is a national digital health blueprint has been implemented which is going to create a better ecosystem and providing universal health coverage in an efficient, inclusive, safe and timely manner using all the digital technologies. Allocation for the Manregas also given here, which will boost all the rural economy, and 40,000 crores has been separately allocated to Manrega scheme. The increase has been given as of in the union budget allocation is from 61,500 crores to 1,01,000 crores, which is 65 percentage has been increased in for the year financial year 2020-21. Next is the visibility gap funding. So this is the for the social projects, infrastructure projects, which has been increased up to 30% of the total project cost. So this will be given the expense for the social infrastructure around 8,100 crores. Then technological driven education is also being planned under the Prime Minister's e-Vidya will be launched, which will have access on the multi-mode for the digital shift in the education. The programs will also have various facilities to all support the school educations in all the states and union territories under the Diksha scheme, which is taken as One Nation, One Digital Platform. The National Foundation Literacy and Numeracy Mission has been launched by will be launched by December 2020, which will have every child attaining the learning level and outcomes by grade 5 by 2025. Then coming towards the Reserve Bank of India's key policies. They have given the cash reserve ratios are being reduced, which will have the liquidity support of rupees 1,37,000 crore. The bank limits for borrowing under the marginal standing facility are also increased, and this will have almost additional of rupees 1,37 crores for the liquidity of the marginal standing facility rate. Almost a total of 1,50,050 crores are being targeted for the long-term repo operations and planned for investment in various graded bonds and commercial papers and non-convertible debentures, including for the both non-banking financial corporations as well as microfinance institutions. There is a special liquidity facility given of rupees 50,000 crore was announced for mutual funds, which will also provide a liquidity support. There is a special refinance facilities worth rupees 50,000 crores that also being announced for the National Agricultural Board for Rural Development as well as SIDBI, State Industrial Bank of India and National Housing Bank at policy repo rate. A moratorium of 3 months also be provided on the repayment of the installments and the interest on the working capital facilities for all types of loans. Now again a 3 more month extension of the moratorium has also been extended as of today. So finally to conclude, this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan will have and has been given not only for this pandemic situation, a great financial stimulus package of 20 lakh crores, but also which will help all the future and also have and highlights and increase of investments as we all been seeing about the various highlights which are being mostly depicted on the investments and various funds being allocated in all the sectors in the micro small medium enterprise as well as social sector or the power sector, energy sector, housing sector, migrant laborers, and then the Reserve Bank also given various key measures that will suffice and support also in this pandemic situation as well as post COVID era and build a bright future for the India. Thank you one and all for listening to this wonderful scheme and like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.